Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Championships, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about titles. One team wins it, everyone else is a loser. Even though as a country we love the loser. We give them trophies. We name streets after them. We give A's for effort. No longer is it a results-only business. It's, hey, let's keep everyone happy. But not in the month of June. 5 championships on the line. The college, the college softball World Series continues tonight. Oklahoma up 1-0 in the best of 3. Just powered, just absolutely pile driving Texas a night ago. I'm going to watch and I'm going to wonder if Oklahoma sweeps this over Texas. At what point during the game is the crowd going to begin with SEC, SEC, SEC? So we'll be watching that tonight. Of course, the College World Series of men's baseball, you have 4 games getting underway on Friday. You have 8 games being played on Saturday. We'll have a national championship in the great sport of college baseball coming up. Both Florida State and Florida are still in it, right? Pretty cool. If you ask me, it's absolutely pretty cool. And, tough chore for Florida. They've got to go to Clemson. Florida State will play host to Connecticut. Right now, Tennessee is your overwhelming favorite, plus 275 to the dollar. Translation, you lay down $100 if Tennessee wins it, you only get back 275. A&M at plus 350, plus 800 for Kentucky and Florida State and North Carolina. You can make $1,000 on Georgia for $100. You can make $1,200 on Clemson and Oregon State, $1,400 on Virginia, $1,800 on NC State. How about you Florida fans? You lay down $100. They win the national championship in college baseball. You're getting back $2,500. Kansas State, Oregon, UConn, and Evansville way down in the pecking order there. The United States Open next week, Pinehurst. Tigers already gotten a practice round in. They're getting after it today at Jack's tournament in, Dublin, not Ireland, but Ohio, with the Memorial. Next week, they'll play for the United States Open. For those of you who are handicapping this, remember, Americans, they've won the last 5 majors, including both majors so far this year in the Masters as well as the PGA Championship. Tonight, Game 1, Boston, Massachusetts. Oh, the Celtics trying to grab their 18th banner. We'll check in with Jacksonville's own Kendra Middleton. She's going to join us in about 20 minutes. She works for the Sports Hub in Boston, and that game is a little bit more than 2 hours away. She'll give us the very latest as we get ready for this matchup tonight. Boston is a pretty big favorite in the series, and what's really interesting about this, and JJ and I talk about it all the time, whether it was last year's American League Championship Series between Texas and Houston where the road team won all 7, whether it was the Florida Panthers a year ago winning games 2, 5, and 7 in Boston. How about the Miami Heat going up 3-0 against Boston, then coming back and winning yet another game on the road, Game 7 there. It just feels like the home field, the home court, the home ice is not what it once was in professional athletics. Road teams are having more and more and more success. Boston is actually, you can make the case, as dangerous, if not more dangerous, on the road than they actually are at home. Game 1 coming up tonight. And then, the best of them all, the National Hockey League Stanley Cup Finals. The Florida Panthers. We'll check in with Jessica Blaylock tomorrow night at 6:30, our old friend here at 1010XL and 92.5 FM. She's so busy covering the Miami Marlins as well as the Florida Panthers. But Florida now will skate in their second consecutive finals. We'll try to get it done against the Edmonton Oilers. We know that Canada has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993 in the Montreal Canadiens. It's just incredible. The great sport invented there. I mean, that's it. You and your football love in the Deep South, I get it. That's all they care about in Canada. I mean, I don't care if it's right across Buffalo, whatever, and you get to Toronto and Montreal, you go way, way out with Edmonton and Vancouver. Okay, they love their hockey, and I think it's going to be miserable as far as the ratings. Okay, I never see Panther, gear. I never see Panther shirts, right? Edmonton stuff. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure in a perfect world they would have loved to have had the New York Rangers against the Dallas Stars, right? You got the number one media market. Dallas is a top 5 media market. It didn't work out that way. It's going to be the most distance ever traveled in an NHL final. At one point, you go back to 2011, that was Vancouver and Boston. Now it's going to be the trip here between Miami and Edmonton. Game 1 coming up on Saturday night in Florida, down deep in the great state of Florida. Again, we'll check in with Jessica Blaylock. That'll be during tomorrow night's show. All right, a lot happening here today in the world of sports. You know, I'm very happy, despite the fact you hear me complain. Okay, what do I complain about? I complain about sports. I complain about bad decisions. I complain about poor leadership, right? I don't complain about the weather. I don't complain in general. I just don't. I'm basically a happy guy, and I'm blessed. I mean, what else could I possibly ask for? 32 and a half years of talking sports. I absolutely love the fact that every single day I get to talk sports with you right here in Duval. But every once in a while, the brain will scatter, and it's like, if I didn't choose this, where would I have gone? And it's not that, I don't drift off into rock star status or being an actor. No, it's what would I have done? And, Secret Service or forensics, I have a criminology degree. I really was interested in that. Unfortunately, I got arrested too many times, so that got kicked to the wayside. Marketing. I laugh at a lot of people in marketing because they always act as if they own the room, right? And I deal with marketing people all the time. We love them when they love us. If they ignore us or whatever, then, it can become tedious. It can become aggravating. And I'm not talking about local advertising, whether it's radio or TV or print. I'm talking about marketing in general, okay? Major companies, Fortune 500 companies, and you have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to spend. What is your advertising campaign like? How do your ideas come together to try to market a product? And, we see it all the time, especially, during the Super Bowl. That obviously kind of infuriates me that there are people out there who enjoy the commercials more than the game. But I've always had an appreciation for the effort in the individuals who don't have massive bank and have to be creative. We see it in minor league sports all the time, right? It's great ideas. It's how do you get people to the ballpark? How do you get them to want to come back to the ballpark? It's pretty easy to get people to come visit you once. It's all about the return, right? You go to a restaurant, Blue Crab Crab House, my favorite restaurant right here in town. I was just there again this past Sunday. I go all the time. Why do I go? Great environment, very affordable prices. Oh, yeah. And the best seafood that you'll find anywhere. But I love the marketing, and there's ideas that I've enjoyed. There's other ideas or that I've really appreciated. There's been others that I've been kind of like, man, how did they come up with that? You know, the city that I was in for 7 years to this day is still remembered for really saying the end to disco. And what happened at Comiskey, and the guy named was Stephen Dahl, a local radio personality there, where he got 50,000 plus to demolish all of their disco albums that ended up going absolutely sideways, and it was a crazy event there at Comiskey. It's viral. You can look it up. It's actually, I'm glad no one was seriously injured. I think it was meant to be entertaining, but it backfired. But I saw something this week that I was not aware of, and let me see. It technically happened 2 days ago. Are you ready for this one, JJ? 50 years ago was 10-cent beer night for the Cleveland Indians as they hosted the Texas Rangers. 25,134 folks showed up. They served more than 65,000 beers. Several arrested, several really beaten up and injured to the point where they took to the field. Again, it's viral. You could see some of this stuff. The game was canceled. Cleveland was forced to forfeit this matchup against the Texas Rangers because the fans became obscenely drunk to the point where they became angry drunks, right? Now, I can't associate with that. I become a happy drunk. There's nothing worse than a mean drunk, and apparently this did happen at Cleveland. But just, can you imagine being in a smoke-filled room back on June 4th, 1974, when someone came up with the idea, I got it, let's have 10-cent beer night at the ballpark.
I wonder how much beer actually was, like a regular beer. You know, was it $1? Was it 50 cents? Like, how much of a discount was 10 cents back in the day? I have absolutely no. Like, what's the equivalent in 2024 if you had $1 beer at a Jags game? Because I could see dollar beer at a Jags game getting out of hand very quickly.
I think beers now cost you, what, 18 bucks?
Dude.
16, 18 bucks?
Your firstborn.
Yeah. I mean, it is so pricey at these professional events. But a 10-cent beer night, and outside of death, everything, I mean, here's some quotes here. The fans became uncontrollable beasts. I've never seen anything like it except in a zoo. That was a home plate umpire by the name of Nestor Shylock.
Wasn't Disco Demolition Night, they also had cheap beers that night, right?
I don't know.
It went like hand in hand. It wasn't just we're burning disco. I think it was like a double header, and let me look it up. But we used to have a bar in Ocala. We're on every Monday night. It was called Ritter's. We would have nickel beer nights.
We had that in Tallahassee.
And I had a friend, and you don't, basically, you're supposed to like pay $1 a drink.
Well,
you
tip the bartender.
Yeah, but I had a buddy who was pretty broke and pretty low morals, and he would literally pay with he'd drop $1 and be like, "Hey, that's for me for the rest of the night."
Well, yeah, I saw all the tricks where you take a dollar bill and rip it in half and fold it.
Oh my God!
So instead of you think you're putting $1 in the tip jar, it's really a torn up dollar. So you have to find the other dollar and tape it. I was on the other side of that as well as a bartender. I think it was called Sid's in Tallahassee that had 5-cent beers. And then you had Bladderbust. But sure, that's a college promotion or that's a local town promotion.
Not a major league baseball
Yeah, you're not
game.
talking about going into a stadium. And there's been some others. I know that there were times where they used to hand out legitimate baseball bats. Okay?
Oh, the little mini ones.
No.
Oh, wow.
Regular baseball bats. I think it might have even been in Yankee Stadium where, there's I'll tell you, since we're getting ready to go to Boston here in a couple of minutes, out of all the Red Sox players who have ever played, really the two guys that I became, somewhat friends with and still remain in contact with, one is Doug Mankiewicz, who fishes all the time down in the Keys. The other was Tallahassee's Reggie Jefferson, who played for the Reds, and he played for the Indians. He played for the Red Sox, and after a game, we went into the locker room as fans, not as members of the media. I went in there with my dad and went in there with my brother, and Reggie gave me one of his bats. And, the game was over, so we walked from the locker room to behind the left field wall where the famous bar, the Cask and Flagon, is. It's if you've ever been to Fenway Park, you got to go have at least one cocktail at the Cask and Flagon. Well, right there at the door, the bouncer's like, I got to take your bat. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, Reggie Jefferson, he's like, no. He goes, we'll take it and we'll put it somewhere, but I'm not going to allow you, with everyone in there boozing, to walk around with a baseball bat. So, you've seen how things have changed. But, yeah, every once in a while, I look at things like this with marketing. There's been some really, really good ideas. There's also been some ideas that have backfired over the years, and certainly this one did during 10-cent beer night back in 1974 between Cleveland and Texas. All right, let's spend a minute here on the Jaguars. Yesterday we went through it all, particularly on the defensive side of the football field. You got to hear from Bill Shuey. Pretty lengthy conversation I had with Bill talking about, what he perceives as the difference now with a 4-3 compared to the 3-4. We got after it with Matt House. Tried to get from Matt House on Devin Lloyd. Is he going to play Sam? Is he going to play Will? All right. He told us that's what camp is all about. We're trying to find the best 11. And the more I thought about it, I think he made some sense because, if they are in a base defense, Muma is probably your third linebacker, but Muma would come out when you go to nickel. So if they keep a tight end in, let's say Lloyd starts at Will, does he go to Sam and hang on to the tight end in a passing down? I don't know. We don't know. The Jaguars haven't given us a depth chart. Jeremy Garrett had some really good things to say about the interior defensive line. Enjoyed my conversation with him. And we also got into it with Mike McCoy a little bit and really his protection, his total defense of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you listen to the quarterback's coach, it's basically Trevor can't do anything wrong. It's other things. It's other issues. I don't agree with that. And in the interview, I somewhat pointed that out. Maybe we'll rerun this later in the program if you missed it yesterday. But the one interview I didn't do yesterday, and it's just going to be not enough time, is the new running backs coach, Jeremy Mack. Okay? Travis Etienne is one of two backs in the NFL, more than 1,400 yards in the line of scrimmage the last couple of years. The eye test told me it was a better year for Travis Etienne, even though his average per dipped considerably. He went from 5.1 a tote to 3.8. The backups were awful. Tank Bigsby, 2.6 yards a carry. Dearness Johnson, 2.6 yards a carry. All of you out there firmly understand that for this team to be a winning team, and I'm not talking about a 9-8 team, I'm talking about a team that moves through the playoffs, they're going to have to be able to run the football. You need to take pressure away from Trevor Lawrence. If he is going to become a better football player and become one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, he has to have a rushing attack, and he did not this past year. So let's spend a couple of minutes here. Most of it is really on Tank Bigsby. Again, if you're listening for the first time, I appreciate it, but you know that I've basically put myself out there and am leading the Tank Bigsby bandwagon for 2024, okay? My biggest question with Tank is I wonder about his focus. Talked with him about it 2 weeks ago, and I do ask Jerry Mack about this here coming up in the interview. That's my biggest concern. Is he in it, okay? Is he totally with it? Let's get to it. Here's the new running backs coach, Jerry Mack. I caught up with him yesterday afternoon. I know limited film study when it comes to Tank, but when you evaluated him as a rookie, what did you see? And, do you feel that 2.6 yards a carry, a lot of that is fixable heading into this year?
I really do. Obviously, I remember Tank when he was at Auburn, just having a chance to watch him play a lot through crossover film more than anything else. And, that's not the same guy I saw week in and week out when I was turning on the film in Jacksonville. I think a lot of that is fixable, to be honest with you. I think, getting used to the speed of the game was all new to him. Just understanding the finer points of the offense was also something that he needed to improve, and he's attacked it this offseason.
Yeah, I spoke with him last week, and I really enjoy. He seems like a young, intelligent guy. There's some sort of a perception that he's not always focused because of some plays that he made last year that came back and hurt the team. Your opinion on him, classroom work, not only on the practice field, but just him in general. What type of worker is he?
Yeah, I've been extremely impressed by his work ethic and how he attacks every day. You talk about coming in the meeting, he's asking questions. He's learning some things that he really didn't know before, and I think that's really good as well. But it's really about him being intentional as far as making sure he understood this is different in college. Yeah, like I said before, he was always the guy, whether it's high school, whether it was college, he was the number one guy. Everybody leaned on Tank, and then he comes into this situation, and he's he's the rookie again, and he's the freshman again, and he has to kind of start from scratch. And there was some growing pains, like it is with anybody that's new coming in the door. And I think that's the one thing he's learned, and he understands that he has to go about and fix it. He has done it on the field this offseason, the way he goes out there and prepares, he eliminated a lot of his bust and missed assignments every week.
All the talks about Trevor and this, passing offense, I don't think you can win in this league unless you can run the football. And obviously, even though Travis went over 1,000 yards last year, things were not the way they were in 2022. Just your group and what you have, the ability to be able to turn that around this year.
Yeah, I think we all need one another. I think Travis needs Tank. I think Tank needs Dearness. I think those guys more than anything else because they've had experience playing in this league. And obviously Travis has had a lot of success. But if we're going to try to make a run at this thing, we got to make sure that Travis is healthy down the stretch. And Tank is a big part of that. I do think he can be a really high caliber back in this league as well. Especially now going forward. He's had a year to sit back and kind of see. He's got his feet wet a little bit with about 50 carries or so. But I do think that, going forward, that room right there, they're going to all need one another because it's a long season and the wear and tear on the body sometimes, it catches up to you.
That is Jerry Mack. He is the new running backs coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you to Jerry. Last year, Travis Etienne, 267 carries. Tank Bigsby, 50. D'Ernest Johnson, 41. All right. Trevor Lawrence ran it 70 times. That's going to stay around the same. Now, the problem with Trevor, and we talked to Mike McCoy about this yesterday, he's got to get down. He can't take the hits on the side. Which game was it? Was it Tampa? Was it Cleveland? I don't know. It's all kind of a mirage. That 1-5 end is all kind of a mirage to me. But Trevor's got to get down. I don't like the percentage. 620 pass attempts to 453 carries. To me, that doesn't add up as a playoff team. And I'm sure you could prove me wrong statistically. You can maybe take me back to Tom Brady or Drew Brees or some stuff like that. And, sometimes numbers lie. But the great year, not the unexpected year, but when they really came together in, 2017 and into the playoffs of 2018, I'll never forget these numbers, 527 and 527. They passed the ball 527 times. They ran it 527 times. I would love to see these carries increase this year and a little bit less when it comes to passing the football. Can Tank Bigsby triple his carries? Can he go from 50 to 150? Can you ask Travis Etienne, who gave you 267 last year, can you drop that down to, 220, 210, somewhere around that? He gave you 220 as a rookie. He gave you 267 last year. Remember, his receptions nearly doubled. He went from 35 to 58, but also the targets went from 45 to 73. So he's gonna have his. But you need a compliment. And I feel like I'm talking to the majority who are like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Isn't that kind of the way you feel today about Tank Bigsby? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I think it's going to work. And I question his hands, okay? I'm talking about him as a runner. I hope so. And only time will tell. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Each and every night, they get us rolling right here. On Into the Night, a family organization out at the beach. They focus on personal, high-quality medical and surgical eye care. So it's so much more than just an appointment for your eyes, the latest on contacts and glasses. No way. Much more than that. Laser eye surgery. So much to learn and understand when it comes to that. The great thing about Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, father-daughter, is that they'll explain everything to you. They're not going to send you down the room to talk to a coordinator about what will happen if you need laser eye surgery, an issue with cataracts, perhaps cataract surgery, whatever it may be. No, they will thoroughly explain it to you. That's the way they are. They're hands-on. They're absolutely the best. That included surgery I had in my right eye 8.5 years ago performed by Dr. Neil Shmunez. I want you to check him out on Instagram at Shmunez Vision. Get testimonials there or go online. That is Shmunez Vision. Care you can see. To comment on the program, no one is more interactive than JJ and yours truly when it comes to the great fans in Duval. 641-1010. That is the text line. It's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Coming up next, let's go to my hometown. Let's talk with Kendra Middleton, born and raised right here in Jacksonville. She now works in Boston on that enormous sports radio station, 98.5 The Hub. She joins us next.
I'm Tom Coughlin. Other than family, the greatest feeling in the world is when all of a sudden you realize you're the world champion. I'm 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. If you need new windows or doors for your home, heads up. This message is for you. New South is having a one-day factory sale this Saturday only in our factory showroom. 40% off high-performance award-winning windows, 40% off energy-efficient windows and patio doors, 40% off our factory direct products installed. Bring in your measurements for on-the-spot pricing or call today. One day only, this Saturday from 9 till 4. Please visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
Bolt City Heating and Air is here to keep you cool this summer. Anytime, any day, whenever you need fast, reliable air conditioning service. Their friendly technicians have fully stocked work vans, so they can get your AC done on site the same day. Rely on a family-owned Jacksonville-grown company this summer to keep your home cooling system working smarter, not harder. Experience the bold difference. Visit BoldCityAC.com to schedule your service appointment. BoldCityAC.com.
Let's go! Join us this Saturday, June 8th at 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena as your Sharks take on the Tulsa Oilers. Great seats are still available. Ask about our awesome family package. 4 tickets, 4 food or merchandise vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift card. Get yours today. Call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksonsharks.com. Shark Tank is having a luau. So break out your flip-flops and grass skirts and come join us. Check out the Polynesian dancers and learn the hula at Shark Fest, our pregame party. The first 1,000 fans will get a free lei. It's going to be a totally tubular night.
Jacksonville Sharks, Tulsa Oilers.
That's Saturday, June 8th, 7 o'clock. For tickets, call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksonsharks.com. That's 904-621-0700 or jacksharks.com. Let's go!
Let's go.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Pull up a chair at the table for some Saturday afternoon sports talk with Compton and Company.
So you want to talk about this or what?
Join Compton and Company noon to 2 Saturdays for more conversation about the teams you care about most.
I have questions. I need answers.
On 1010XL.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops upon Avedra.
Coverage and analysis of the 2024 off-season workouts on 1010XL is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, and air conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is David Lane. After suffering through several painful injuries to my shoulder, back, and knees, I've taken my issues to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and without fail, they've been a tremendous help toward solving my problems. If you have any orthopedic situations, don't procrastinate. Take action today. Give those aches and pains to the pros at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today. Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
There it is right there. That's some good Boston music. For crying out loud, put Jake Giles in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Peter Wolf, a former DJ at WBCN, becoming a lead vocalist, the rock and roll singer. Magic Dick, the late Magic Dick. I don't know. I guess you can put, Whitney Houston in and Dolly Parton, but not the great Jake Giles. All right, my hometown, my goodness, there's no place I'd rather be than right here in Duval, but I can't even imagine what it must be like now, a little bit less than 2 hours away from Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Boston hosting Dallas. Kendra Middleton from Jacksonville. She now calls Boston home, and she works at 98.5 The Sports Hub right there in Boston. Kendra, I appreciate a couple of minutes of your time. How you doing?
I am great. I'm so excited to be talking about the Celtics with you tonight. I feel like we've kind of switched places in the fact that I'm in Boston and you're in Jacksonville. I am jealous that you are not clogged up in traffic like I was today trying to get to TD Garden, but I'm so excited for this matchup. It's one of the best that we've had in an NBA Finals in maybe the last decade, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and I can only imagine, happy hour. First of all, what type of day is it in Boston?
It's actually really gloomy today. We've had some great weather. You know, the high has been 80, the low of like a good 68 at night or so for the last week. And today it's pretty gloomy. I was out in the seaport today walking around. It's not raining or anything, but it's a gloomy day in Boston.
Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, 17 NBA championships. I grew up in the Larry Bird era and, saw when they got the big three together and they won it back in 2008. But it's been a long period of time. So I have to imagine, Kendra, the pressure is on Boston in this series.
1,000,000%. Not just Boston, it's on Jason Tatum specifically. He has kind of been the talk of the town, especially after, Jaylen Brown took home some hardware last week. Jason's obviously due for a big contract, so I think that it's kind of the conversation of, all right, you've had some really, really lucky scenarios to get to this final, predominantly healthy outside of obviously Kristaps Porzingis. They've been working really well without him, especially in that last Pacers series. I think that the pressure really specifically is on Jason Tatum because if they don't take home this banner 18, if they don't rise that in the rafters of TD Garden after this, it's really on kind of whether do they keep the duo together, do they split them up, do they sign him to this deal? I mean, the pressure is just so solely on Jason Tatum, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's been so good in his career, and he played well in the first couple of rounds this year in the NBA playoffs, but we all remember, particularly in the fourth quarter, this man doesn't shoot. Against Miami last year, I think in Game 6, or maybe it even was Game 7, he only took one shot in the fourth quarter. So the pressure on him, not to deliver early on, but like the great players in Celtics history, it's going to be on Jason Tatum to make some shots in the fourth quarter.
100%. The question about Jason Tatum at this point is there's really two of them. I love that, people love to say, does he have that dog in him, which is the valid question. If you took the quote-unquote dog that Jaylen Brown has in his body and put it in Jason Tatum, he'd be the best player in the world, without a doubt. And the other kind of question is, what kind of clutch shooter can Jason Tatum be in this finals? That's been a big question for him, over the last couple of seasons. I remember, I believe it was the Cavs series when Jaylen Brown hit that huge shot in the first game. And, Tatum missed the first three leading up to that. And one of Joe Mazzulla's biggest criticisms has been, okay, if, the ball's not working for Jason Tatum, can you take it away from him and give it to Jaylen Brown? If the ball's not working for Jaylen Brown that night, you have so many other options, and I know that Kristaps has been hurt, but he can contribute. Drew Holiday can contribute. Derek White can contribute. Peyton Pritchard at times can contribute. So I think that if it's not working for Jason, it's going to be up to Joe Mazzulla to kind of spread the ball out, but the real question is really going to be what kind of clutch time shooter can Jason Tatum be in this extremely huge moment against someone like Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic.
Game 1 tonight in Boston. The Celtics favored by 6.5 points. Your total's 216 in a hook, which may come into fruition. These two teams are the top two three-point shooting teams in the NBA. Dallas, the visitor. We were talking with Kendra Middleton, who covers the Celtics for 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston. All right, give us the latest. What's going on health-wise with Porzingis?
So I'm not sure if you heard the interview of him earlier this week. Someone asked him if he was running without pain. And for me, do I think that he is, is any athlete running without pain? No, but his response to that question, he really kind of, I think it was a 7-second pause that we recorded at the station before he gave an answer. And it was, not a really convincing answer. And I don't think that it's a language barrier issue, which has been a big conversation at our station specifically this week. With someone like Luka Doncic and someone like Kristaps Porzingis, yes, they're bilingual, but they are truly bilingual. So I don't think that it's a language barrier issue. I truly think that he was just kind of having a help me PR lady in the back. Do I say yes? Do I say no moment? So I know that there's some guys at our station who think that he might not survive this entire series, but I think that they've got to get him on the court for at least 20 minutes tonight. Do I think that he's 100% no? Do I think that he's 75% yes? But do I think that a 75% Kristaps Porzingis is more productive than 100%, 40-year-old Al Horford? Please don't kill me, Northeast Florida. Yes. So that's kind of where I stand with the Porzingis question.
Luke is so good, and he gets most of the attention, deservedly so. But your opinion tonight, that Boston crowd, which can obviously get hostile, how are they going to treat Kyrie Irving?
Oh my gosh, I think it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. I've gone to some regular season games to watch Kyrie play in Boston, and when I tell you, I mean, you know how it is here, but for the people in Jacksonville who don't, when I seriously tell you that every single time Kyrie Irving touches the ball, the Garden erupts in boos, I absolutely, to the bottom of my core, mean that. And it is like a harrowing boo. So I expect the guy outside of TD Garden selling the F Kyrie shirts to be sold out at 2 p.m. today.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an absolutely hostile environment to a degree that, you know, the average consumer of basketball has probably never seen, because Boston's mean. I'll tell you that. That is one thing as a true Southerner that I did not expect moving up here, is how truly just not – they're mean off the jump, but they would give you the shirt off your back in 5 minutes. But the front-facing just meanness of Boston is unlike anything that I have ever experienced.
There's no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Final minutes with Kendra Middleton as she's getting ready to cover Game 1 of the NBA Finals. She works there at the Sports Hub 98.5 in Boston. You know, Celtics were 37-4 at home, but they've lost home games in the playoffs, both this year and this year. There's so much about the home field, the home ice, the home court. Dare I say Boston perhaps is even more dangerous on the road than they are at home. So with that said, what do you make of the home court? And, you know, you want to get both at home in this series, but if they aren't able to get that done, again, Boston is a good road basketball team.
Yeah, it's true. It seems, and I talked about this on our show this morning, for me, it feels like outside of the Pacers series, for whatever reason, Boston has had to lose a game at home to kind of, you know, find their footing in some of these series. So I do have Boston winning tonight. I have the Mavs winning in Boston in Game 2, but I have Celtics in 6. So that obviously, you know, means that Boston's going to have to get some W's on the road. But it just feels like for whatever reason, this Celtics team really has to lose at home on home court with that kind of embarrassment to get their footing. So I do expect them to drop one of these 2 first games. I do expect it to be the second game. But yeah, it seems like that is a monkey that they can't seem to get off their back, is just, you know, keeping home court. So.
All right, Kendra. Hey, it's a pleasure. I know you're busy, certainly come the fall, but will you be able to make it down here for a Jaguars game?
Oh, absolutely. I have tickets to Miami. I'm going to both London games. I'll make it home for a couple of games to see my mom and go tailgate. So I will 1,000% be back in Jacksonville. My mom and I kind of have a deal where she'll come up here in the summer because obviously the weather is ideal here, and I'll come down there in the winter because the weather here is not ideal. So I will definitely be home in Duval for some Jags games this year. And if you see me, let's hug it out, shake it out. Let's say hey, because I love to meet people while I'm down there.
Kendra, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me. Go Seas.
There she goes, Kendra Middleton, 98.5, the Sports Hub. And she's Jacksonville's own, born and raised here. I know she ended up, I think she went to Auburn, then she ended up going to the University of New Hampshire, which is a fine academic institution. In high school, I remember one year going to a UNH, I think it was a UNH-UMass hockey game. And it was a blast. University of New Hampshire. Really like her. She's got a lot of spirit, does a very nice job in Boston. So there you go. Game 1 tonight, Boston fair by 6.5, total 216.5. What do you make of this series, JJ?
I like Boston. I don't love Boston. I think the minus 240 or whatever I've seen it today is way too much. But yeah, Boston in 6 or 7 for me. I think they have the better role players outside. I think it's a wash between, you know, Kyrie and Luka and Tatum and Brown. Maybe you give Dallas a little bit of an advantage when it comes to their 2 best players. But then the rest of the roster, I think Boston's much better. I worry about Kristaps if I'm Boston, but he was supposed to play like Game 5 against Indiana, and that was like 2 weeks ago at this point. So if he was supposed to play then, 2 more weeks of healing, I don't think he'll be like, you know, prime Kristaps ready to go tonight. But I think just him being there will give him a little, it'll be able to stretch the court. You know, he hits threes. It'll have to take like those centers outside. So I like Boston in 6.
Yeah, he's got to give him some minutes.
I mean, absolutely.
He has to. I mean,
if he's not
He'll get crushed in that town.
Yeah, I think then Dallas will win the series. I think they need Kristaps to win the series for sure.
Is it Cam Rising at Utah? I mean, we
Yeah.
talking with Tim Brando about him. Brando had a lot of Utah games last year. It's like, well, we still don't know about Cam Rising. It's one thing you can get away with it in Utah, but if you're an injured guy and you don't show up and get ready for the NBA Finals, you just heard Kendra Middleton's definition of those Boston fans. And trust me, I know all about them. That's where I was born and raised. They are ruthless, and you've got to give it a shot. If you go out there and you flat out fail, okay. I mean, here's probably a bad example, but it's one that comes up. Do you remember in Atlanta going back, probably 15 years ago, when Florida State played South Carolina in the Peach Bowl? And Christian Ponder tried to go. He tried to throw the football a couple of times, and it looked like his arm literally was about to fall off. And then they replaced him with E.J. Manuel. But that was an effort. That was a guy who went out there and said, I'm going to give it my all, and I can't do it anymore. Kirk Gibson limping. This is what – and they're not going to ask Porzingis to give him 30 minutes tonight.
No way.
They're going to ask him to give him maybe 10, 12 minutes, right? Can you do that more than that, you think?
I think, yeah, I was going to say 15 to 20, but we'll see. I mean, it's impossible for me to know. I haven't seen him do anything, but the way he was talking in the interview, he's definitely playing. And, yeah, the later the series gets, the more he'll obviously be playing. But he's an injury-prone guy. So not only will Boston be looking at Kristaps upset if he doesn't play and they lose, got to be looking at the front office, too, for bringing a guy in that is injury-prone, has been his entire career, and was seemingly healthy the whole season, right up until when it matters most in the playoffs. So terrible timing for Kristaps. I love him as a player. I hope he's back tonight.
And he's got a calf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a calf. Get it massaged, take the needle, and get out there.
Absolutely.
Right? You're making millions and millions of dollars. I tell you what looks easy, and if it ever looks easy in the world of handicapping, the old adage is
it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
So go the other way. But 216.5 points, the two best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. Why does this look like an easy over?
I don't
216.5 tonight. You disagree?
I would. First of all, I hate betting over-unders in general, but both these teams haven't played in so long. I mean, it's been over a week. So maybe rustiness.
All right, let's see. All right, well, let's put a
friendly wager.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't bet in 10. I haven't bet in what? That 8.5 years is all of a sudden like, isn't that almost hit like, or 10.5? Hasn't it almost hit like 11 now?
Don't you get a chip for that?
Yeah. Baloo, the recovering alcoholic, as a guy approached me last week on the golf course. Aren't you a recovering alcoholic?
Why do you have that beer, sir?
I mean, I've been called everything. Even that was just like, that was brilliant. I think he was trying to mess with my game a little bit. All right, we got much more to do. Any reaction to that, please join us on the text line. Again, the number, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Jacksonville's home for Florida Gators baseball.
The Gators advance to the Super Regional for a best-of-3 series against the Tigers in Clemson. Saturday at 2 and Sunday at 2:30 on 1010 a.m.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Summer starts now at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet with our summer sale. It's not sink or swim. We have vehicles for every budget and every need, starting as low as $79.99, and you won't get burnt. We offer 20-year 200,000-mile protection on new and 7-year 100,000-mile protection on used. Plus, we can really cool things off with our 30-day exchange policy. Start the summer off the way you deserve it with our summer sale at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you. ya.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
How nice would it be not to worry about your AC unit for 10 years? What? Vaughn's Heating and Air, standing by their units for 10 years. Imagine not having to think about your AC unit for a decade. Vaughn's 10-year warranty covers the parts, labor, and refrigerant. Basically everything. No fictional problems that will cost thousands. This is legit. An AC unit with no repair costs. Wouldn't that be nice? So remember, if your AC unit won't turn on, just call Vaughn's. That's Vaughn's Heating and Air.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when the sun's out, it's time to ride. And Triumph, tell me this, Greg, they've got new pricing that's going to bring more people to the showroom to check them out.
They do. They've got 2 hot new models, both under $6,000, one under $5,000. Same great, legendary Triumph quality and ride. You got to come see it.
It's a big, heavy motorcycle underneath you.
It is. It's all Triumph.
Log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or check them out in the showroom. They're on Atlantic near Regency.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 6, 2018, LeBron James passes Michael Jordan's record for most 30-point games in NBA playoff history.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America, N.A.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carline from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sports book. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
I'm Patrick Young, inviting you to the Florida SBDC's Network Small Business Success Summit, August 19th and 20th at the Sawgrass Marriott in Ponte Vedra. If you're ready to learn, network, and be inspired, I'll be delivering a keynote message you won't want to miss. Secure your spot today by registering at floridasbdc.org. Hey, there's no time to waste. Right now is the right time. I hope to see you at the Small Business Success Summit in August.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barrier Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barrier Orthopedics and online at barrierorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barrierorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Want to pay my respects. 80 years ago today, the Normandy landings, the invasion of Normandy. 80 years ago. For those of you who are younger and do not know anything about it, hop on the Google. Enormous as far as our country, and I know there's a lot of issues in our country right now, but World War II. Wow. I think that's where I'm going to go next. I've been reading so much about so many different things. I'm not really military-wise. I haven't read a lot. Military movies. Yeah, I find myself more in the Vietnam. You know, Apocalypse Now is my favorite war movie. I love Platoon. Certainly, I love The Deer Hunter. Full Metal Jacket. There's just so many. What was the one that Clint was in? Was it Hamburger Hill or I don't know? Someone will.
Kelly's Heroes too.
Yes. But I wish I had a little bit more appreciation for World War I and World War II. In 1976, the town next to where I grew up, right there, it was, we just talked with Kenner Middleton in Boston, Concord, Massachusetts. I was there for the 200 years after the Paul Revere ride and the Great North Bridge or Old North Bridge and just everything. You know, Boston pretty historic with that. It happened right there in Concord and Lexington and the U.S. Constitution and the ships and everything. But I haven't read enough, and I feel like maybe that's where I'm going to go next. I feel like I've read everything on true crime, and all I'm doing now is reading all these fictions, and they're good. But it's like everything else in life. They're not as, if you read the John Sanford series or the C.J. Bach series or all these James Patterson series, David Baldacci I've read, who's the cat up the road here, the author that is from Mississippi, and John Grisham. I've just read so many, fiction's good, but it's like, I'm kind of looking for something else now. So maybe that's where I'll go. Start reading more about what happened with World War II. So respect those who did that for us. Man, I have a founding fathers, man. There's not enough respect. And we talk about that with athletes, right? We get into C.J. Stroud and his lack of respect for Fred Taylor. And, it's do you, right? Isn't that the saying now? You do you, whatever appeals to you. I've always been one of those that if you're successful, right, it's because you have God-given talent. But you also should, in your field, respect those who pave the way for you, right? Whether it's this business or it's any business that you have as you're driving home from work, but certainly when we get into professional athletics. I mean, we just talked with Kenner Middleton in Boston. If you're a Celtic and you can't come out tonight, even though that's your home court, and you can't get fired up about Bill Russell and Sam Jones and John Havlicek and Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Bob Cousy and JoJo White, Kevin McHale, Ray Allen. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. If that doesn't fire, I mean, you just wonder, some of these guys even know do they care? It's the same thing with our military, man. I'll never forget the experience when I would come back high school and then my first year at Florida State, man, working construction with those Vietnam vets, man. Oh, so much appreciation for them. Totally lack of respect, too, I think, forever by our country with former members of the military. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to get off on something. I'm saying it because I mean it. It's been horrible. And I'm talking about going back decades and decades and decades. I think we all have those pipe dreams. You know, if I hit the lottery for $750 million, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. I'll tell you straight up right now, one of my first points of view would be to help the military, former members of the military. It would. We do great things here for children, especially the J Fund. I'm involved in a couple of other charities. But I have admiration for our leaders. I do. Because our leaders, so many of them suck, right? Especially politically speaking, they suck. And look at all the commissioners. I mean, one of my favorite topics is leadership, perhaps the lack thereof. Look at the clowns who are commissioners. You see what Ryan Kelly said today ahead of, he's on the NFLPA. He's on their board. He's also the rep for the Indianapolis Colts. He was asked about an 18-game schedule. He said, absolutely not. And he said, Roger Goodell can come on the Pat McAfee podcast, and it all sounds good, this and that, but it's not going to happen. And I love how he called out Roger Goodell. That's poor leadership. Jay Monahan here in town, poor leadership. I'm sure I'm going to be told I got to cover the Atlantic Coast Conference meetings again in late July, where I got to go listen to Jim Phillips. Awful leadership as the commissioner of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Brutal leadership. The bro didn't even know how to answer the COVID question 4 years ago when he took over. He didn't even know. The day before, Greg Sankey laid out the perfect plan. There's a good leader. He took the SEC and everyone there through cancellations. What happens if a game gets suspended? Will there be cancellations? He had it down. Jim Phillips of the Atlantic Coast Conference, you think would have had either himself or some of his, runners provide that information. He had no freaking clue. That's all I needed to hear. First impressions are everything, right? The guy's a joke, and he remains a joke. We have poor leadership in so many areas. But when it comes to the police and the firefighters and when it comes to our military, they deserve more. Teachers as well. People deserve more. I really believe that. You know who else deserves more? Producers. Dadgummit, producers.
Amen.
I mean, you get Kendra Middleton on this program after Dan Graziano yesterday, you're having a banner week.
Thank you.
An A-plus week. All right, we got much more to do. You want to comment on that? You can. How about I'll make it a tiny bit self-serving because you're such a great audience. Give me a great military book. Going on vacation in a week and a half. Going to Denver. Going through Wyoming. Going to yell. I'm going to cut my hands and yell for the Montana boys. Hopefully they'll join me and we'll play some golf. Going to roll through Salt Lake City. And then back to Denver, right? So I'm going to be reading late at night, right? My girlfriend gets tired of me. She's like, crying out loud, just go read your book or something. So, yeah, I'm going to need a military book to read. Give me a good one. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
You press the button. Behind those doors, there's a life you always dreamt of.
This is 1010 XL. Now you can watch 1010 XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Hey folks, it's Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. Now you probably heard me mention that errant golf ball that led us to replace our windows. And obviously, if I'm investing in my home's appearance and comfort, I want the best. Well, now my new Pella windows are installed and they look fantastic. And we've already noticed the difference in outside noise reduction and energy savings. So if you need to replace your windows or doors, visit my friends at the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway or check them out online at PellaJacks.com. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing will last 2 to 3 times longer than a shingle roof? If you want a better roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Schedule your free estimate today at PrimeRoofingFL.com. That's PrimeRoofingFL.com.
I joke around and with my wife and call it my bionic knee.
But before Ernest became a patient with QC Kinetics, it was a different story.
I'd go to bed with my knee throbbing, heat, ice. I would get up in the middle of the night to get a drink or something, and I would just be hobbling.
He wasn't able to play on his rec basketball team or work in the yard. But QC Kinetics regenerative treatments turned around the situation without surgery or downtime, using Ernest's own healing properties to help restore his aching knee, now known as Ernest's bionic knee.
I am really happy because I am playing the game that I love so much, and I'm playing with my granddaughter, and I'm gardening, and I'm on my knees, and I'm jumping up. I have a 200-pound dog, and I'm playing with my dog.
Now Ernest is living his best life thanks to QC Kinetics, and so can you. Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, hour number 2 underway. It's good to have you with us. JJ LaSelva is here. My name's Rick Ballou. Just enjoying life today. It's a good day for Thursday, right? Have a good Thursday night, a good Friday. Celtics tonight. Man, if I glory cut this one, huh? I mean, I whole divorce with Boston. At least I was open. You know, I said, It's an open relationship with Boston. It is. I told you that I'm not going to waste time talking about it anymore. We had a guest on, but I haven't rammed it down your throat. We've gotten far less Boston talk since that divorce a year ago caused by the Bruins. But I'll admit it, this is a really bad effort on my part. I didn't watch a lot of Celtics games this year, and now I'm like all for it since they've gotten into the NBA Finals. And I've watched them throughout the playoffs. But I'm outing myself because I can't stand people like me as to what I'm doing right now. It's the worst fan. And you and Duval should be upset with me because I've always been a guy who sticks to his guns, and I feel I'm going to tell you exactly the way that I feel, whether you like it or dislike it. Boy, did I wimp my way through this one. But I feel better after admitting it.
I did the opposite with the Celtics this year. I watched a lot of their regular season, or what we could, because I don't get home till 8:45, 8:30 or whatever. But during the playoffs, I've watched like none of their games. Because
8:45? What are you going over to Glenn's Liquors
no,
or something?
well,
Knocking a few
I
back?
actually do stop by Southside Liquors on many occasions after work.
All right.
But yeah, about 8:30 every day. But they have been playing absolutely nobody, and everyone that they did play, their star player ended up getting hurt in the series, didn't even finish. So I was like, listen, Boston's going to roll through the East. Why am I even wasting my time watching these games? And that's exactly what happened. So for me, tonight will be the first time I've really watched Boston in weeks.
Yeah. I am such a hockey guy over basketball. I mean, even when the Celtics came back and, they beat Toronto in Game 7, then, of course, they lost for a second consecutive year the way they did to the Florida Panthers. That hurts. Didn't hurt nearly as much as it hurt a year ago. I mean, a year ago was devastating. But, I grew up loving the Celts in the late 70s and into the 80s. And I'm talking about before the Bird era. I'm talking about the Cowens, Havlicek, JoJo White, Charlie Scott era. That was a great one in Boston with Johnny Most behind the mic and the legendary Red Auerbach. But anyway, we'll see. I know a lot of people hate Boston. They're going to root against them, and they're going to pull here for Luka tonight and Kyrie Irving and Dallas. We'll see. I think it's going to be a really interesting series when it's all said and done. College football is starting to do some things, dare I say, that are impressive. Okay? And I say this respectfully. The 12-team college football playoff, the dates were announced yesterday, and I love this, okay? Game 1 will be Friday, December 20th. Game 2, 3, and 4, Saturday, December 21st. Now, I have to believe that the NFL, during that time of the year, has some Saturday games, right? And you would think that the NFL wouldn't schedule Saturday games since the NFL gets, let me check this now, 100% of their talent from college football, right? You would think that they would be hand in hand with the college game, but no. We continuously learn that the NFL is insanely greedy and it could care less. So ratings-wise, even these playoff games will probably fall to regular season Saturday games in the NFL because the NFL is just so far ahead of everything else. But I love this. An 8 o'clock game on Friday the 20th, then you go noon, 4, and 8. So the first round of the playoffs then. Here is what I like even more. New Year's Day is on a Wednesday, okay? So these games are all played on Saturday. You're now going to get basically 10 or 11 days off. One game on New Year's Eve. Remember, I was very vocal about this a couple of years ago. Remember they put all these games on New Year's Eve? And, when you get to be my age, New Year's Eve isn't what it once was. But for the younger generation, it's one of the biggest days of the year. You go out and you party and, you bring in the new year. I did it for decades, okay? A couple of years ago, all these games were on New Year's Eve. This year, they have one game on. They actually put it on at 7:30, which is smart. So that game should be over before the turn of the new year.
You mean not when Ohio State's lining up to kick the game winner as the clock strikes 0?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Crazy.
That's right. So you got one game on New Year's Eve, and then on New Year's Day, it's new growing up in college, high school and college, or in even, post-college. I've gone to every Florida State national title game. All right, they're 3 wins and they're 3 losses, and I've been to other ball games. But let's face it, when you're in your teens or in your 20s, New Year's Day is about what? It's about recovery. It's about having a massive hangover from New Year's Eve. And, whether you have an ice pack on your head or whatever it is, it's about climbing to the couch the minute that toe hits leather. And in the quarterfinals, man, you got a game on Tuesday night, December 31st. On New Year's Day, on that Wednesday, January 1st, you have a game at 1. You have a game at 5. And officially, it's going to be the Fiesta Bowl on the 31st. At 1 o'clock, it'll be the Chick-fil-A Bowl, which I just talked about last hour in Atlanta. The Rose Bowl at 5. And then the Sugar Bowl Wednesday night at 8:45. How about that? We get to the semifinals. Thursday night at 9. Thursday night, January 9th at 7:30. And then Friday, January 10th at 7:30. The national championship game will be played on Monday, January 20th. Again, starting at 7:30. Hey, listen. Tip of the cap to those who lined this up in college football. I think they did a really good job scheduling wise. So that's that, Yeah. All right, look at all this stuff coming in now. Heartbreak Hill was, I think I said Hamburger Hill. I think
the Hamburger Hill is a movie.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah, I thought so. But it was the one with Clint was Heartbreak Hill. Okay. Someone brought up, what was the movie with the one with Hanks? Saving
Private Ryan. That has a really crazy D-Day scene.
And I couldn't handle it because the way the camera moved.
yeah, exactly.
I saw that in the theater, and I got dizzy. I had to close my eyes.
I could see that.
Okay, I mean, I still have these headaches, and thank you to Dr. Shinatri, who, when he gives me the adjustment, it makes my headaches go away. I think I have something from COVID, either a side effect or the jab or whatever it is, but it continuously bothers me, and without his help, I would be a mess. But maybe I've always had that problem because that's the one movie that sticks out to me. It was like and I've always, I always went on roller coasters. I took my daughters on all the roller coasters and things like that, but it felt like I was on a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah.
Trying to watch that scene when they land at Normandy.
Is that a Scorsese movie?
I don't remember, but it was outside of that part.
No, Spielberg.
Okay.
But yeah, by the way, for my video game players out there, people around my age, they know Medal of Honor Frontline, that game, the first level was you landing at D-Day, and it was just like that movie. So badass and, incredibly just jarring to think about someone, you're 19, you're drafted into the Army, you're sent overseas, you're in France, and you're told, hey, you're just going to run onto the beach and try to take out those targets while they're just annihilating everyone around. I couldn't even fathom the courage that it would take.
Insane courage. Insane. Yeah. Well, yeah, I talked to my grandfather. I mean, he's been long gone. He was born in Keene, New Hampshire, and he was in the Navy. And he wasn't on the USS Indianapolis, when that delivered the bomb, as Quint said. We delivered the bomb. I'll never wear a life jacket again. That great scene in Jaws when he talks about delivering the bomb, and of course they were hit, and many perished, and then so many more died by the sharks that just had a field day.
Yeah.
Ripping them apart. But he was in another huge boat similar to that, and explain it. And then of course my dad was drafted in the Army, and it ruined his minor league baseball career. But think about that now. There's no draft, and to me, the military should be an honor, right? I was listening to someone. There was a conversation that I became a part of. That was, well, why don't we take troubled youths? Why don't we take those who have broken the law and put them on the front line?
Jesus.
It was some hammered guy in a bar.
So it's like slavery or indentured servitude? Like, do they have a choice on this?
I'm like, bro, it's an honor to serve in the military, man. You want to take a guy with questionable character and have him?
And when you force someone to do something, you're never going to get the best result.
You're going to trust some guy that, no. I'm like, hell no. That's a real bad idea. Now, maybe there are exceptions to the rule where, through the interview process or whatever, you believe that you can get, a couple here and there that are looking for, that if,
a new life or
truly
something.
Went through rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Right? The whole Bobby Kennedy deal was about rehabilitation. That whole thing with recidivism and, 60 to 70% of those who were in jail had been in jail before. The whole thing was rehab them. Get them coming out, put them back into society, and they won't get back in. That was the huge plea, by Bobby Kennedy before he was gunned down. Try to help these people. I'm sure there are examples of guys who have been let out and have ended up having a decent life, right? But for the most part, no. That fell on deaf ears, man. It went back right after it. All right, getting 40 of these Heartbreak Ridges from you. I appreciate it.
I guess it's not Heartbreak Hill.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Ridge. Sorry, texter.
I do want to point out that that Hamburger Hill was a movie as well. Maybe you should watch that. But I did get that one wrong. All right, 641-1010. That is the way to get on in. Lots of stuff going on right here on this Thursday version. Hockey fans, tomorrow night at 6:30, Jessica freaking Blaylock. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I've had a lot of people ask me about McDavid. Even T-Wig yesterday when he cut my hair. T-Wig's like, is McDavid really that good? Someone said that to him, he's better than Gretzky. And I'm like, whoa, let's pump the brakes here a little bit, okay? I mean, Wayne Gretzky is Michael Jordan. Wayne Gretzky is Tom Brady. Wayne Gretzky is Tiger Woods. All right? Let's pump the brakes. Connor McDavid has to do this for another 10 years. Yeah. But he is entering Mount Rushmore. To me, Mount Rushmore is Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, and Gordie Howe. Those are the three. Now, we can argue all night about the fourth guy. Is it Mario Lemieux? Is it Jaromir Jagr? Is it Alex Ovechkin? Is it Mike Bossy? Is it Guy Lafleur? Is it Bobby Hull? Okay? I mean, there's a lot of guys that we can go over and discuss that about. Connor McDavid is entering that category. But don't Gretzky me. No. I mean, don't. Wayne Gretzky, and also it also deserves to be mentioned. And we say this when we talk about Magic and we talk about MJ. MJ had Pippen, right? Magic had Jabbar and Worthy. Bird had McHale and Parrish and DJ and Bill. I mean, they had all these Hall of Famers. Great players and great teams also have great teammates. Well, Wayne Gretzky had Yari Curry. He had Mark Messier. He had Glenn Anderson. He had Paul Coffey. He had a Hall of Fame goaltender in Grant Fuhr. That's 5 Hall of Famers right there. The Edmonton Oilers were sensational, but they were 3 lines deep. You know, it was back in the day where you didn't have 4 lines and guys playing 30 seconds, 35 seconds, and then a shift. It was lengthier back then, and you leaned a little bit more on your top 3 lines, and then if you needed to rough someone up, you put out Marty McSorley in the 4th line, right? I mean, it was a totally different style of game in the late 70s and into the 80s. But anyway, T-Week and I were having that conversation. I was just kind of like, when did it begin that instead of just admiring phenomenal talent, everything in life has to be the best ever, right? I mean,
we had it in the NBA just last week. Like, before the T-Wolves got knocked off, it was like, Anthony Edwards, everything about this guy screams Jordan. It's like, dude, relax.
I say I read books all the time, and they have these book sales that I go to, and every time I go, I see Hall of Fame writer Vito Stellino there. And Vito is he's a reader just like I am, and I remember Vito, and I kid him about this. You know, he's like, well, Belichick, 6-3 in the Super Bowl, the greatest ever, and he wrote it was Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw. They went 4-0. So I'm like, and they do this with LeBron. They also try to do it maybe with Brady and maybe with Belichick. You're going to criticize someone from going to either the Eastern Conference Finals or going to a Super Bowl or an NBA championship and losing in the finals compared to Chuck Noll and Terry Bradshaw in the years that they didn't win the Super Bowl.
They didn't make it.
Yeah, they got knocked out early or they didn't make it. I mean, how can – I know they're 4-0. It's just like criticizing Fran Tarkington for going 0-4 or Jim Kelly for going 0-4. They still made it. Wouldn't you rather be 0-4 than Dan Marino, who went once early in his career and never got another opportunity?
Amen.
Yeah, I would think so, but people
the thing
think
is
differently.
With the LeBron argument, he never got to 6 wins. MJ was 6-0, but LeBron's been like 10 times. He's got 4, but that whole 6-0 argument would have really, if he gets one more and gets to 5, then it's really not gonna sound as great. But yeah, I guess, what is it? Was Montana 4-0 or 3-0?
Montana, I think, was 3-0, and Steve Young
was
Steve
1-0.
Young, did he win 1 or 2? I'd have to look back on that. Oh, but that I've never understood that. I never have. Now, there's the other. Fans can get vicious. Our interview with Kendra Middleton at 6:30 tonight. All this pressure's on Jason Tatum. People want to anoint Jason Tatum as a top 5 player in the NBA. Well, he's got to win an NBA championship. I mean, recent history in the Eastern Conference Finals or NBA Finals, he hasn't shot in the 4th quarter. He's got to want the tonight. He's got to want the basketball. And I've noticed the change. Obviously, his numbers are up in the 4th quarter throughout the playoff rounds this year. But if Boston loses, you can write the story right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's all going to be on Jason Tatum.
By the way, Steve Young only 1 as a starter. 3, but 2 of those were with Montana.
1 as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, much more to do. 641-1010 if you want to join us. He is J.J. LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night. By the way, the text line is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Get more Jaguars coverage from Jacksonville's sports superstation.
That is, Jags on 3, baby. 1, 2, 3, Jags!
1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Hey, folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents.
So you gotta up your game.
Plus, better ways to train as B3 Better brings you the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Did you know DuckDuckRooter is the area's go-to plumber? A 5-star Google-rated company, DuckDuckRooter can take care of all of your plumbing repairs and upgrades. Need to switch from septic over to city sewer? Call the Duck. How about water heater repairs and replacement? You're just a duck away, or call away, for DuckDuckRooter plumbing and septic services.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Make every day brighter, every laugh louder, and every moment memorable at the YMCA. More than just the gym, the Y is a community where you can dive into fun, fitness, family time, and make new friends all under one roof. With complimentary youth sports, childcare while you work out, summer camp savings, and more, the Y is the best value for families. Join the Y today and grow stronger together with amazing summer membership savings for a limited time. Find details at fcymca.org.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Game 1 NBA Finals coming up tonight, 8:30, so about an hour away. 6.5 points. Boston favored there. 216 and a hook is your total. The Florida Panthers as well. They are a favorite in the Stanley Cup. And it is. The way it's written is Stanley Cup Final.
No S.
Which is bizarre.
But NBA Finals.
I'm going to call it Finals. You know what? I don't like proper English.
I hate it.
Like, you know what drives me nuts is when broadcasters will say he's got 67 RBI.
Instead of RBIs.
It's RBIs, for crying out loud. I tell you what else drives me crazy is like when some big event is coming up. They're like, and we will have plenty of food and drink for you. No, it's food and drinks, people. And don't lecture me about, English. Just say what comes naturally to you. You don't naturally get up and say, yeah, it's going to be a great event. We've got 77 different flavors of soft soda here, so we have plenty of food and drink. No, it's food and drinks.
It's only for an occasion, you'd say. One that's more popular in the sports world, not necessarily here, but people hate when you say the MLS. Because it's Major League Soccer. It's not the Major League Soccer, okay? But, dude, you're lucky anyone's even talking about it.
Okay.
The WNBA.
WNBA is in the news for
it's
all sorts of reasons.
So much tweets about the WNBA. Every time I go on Twitter, it's incessant tweeting from like ESPN or Bleacher Report about the latest in the world of Angel Reese / Caitlin Clark. I don't know if
Angel Reese like, get out of my face.
I don't know if anyone's actually watching the games, but it's certainly gaining traction on Twitter. So you're talking about when she got off the bus.
Yeah, her and her teammates.
Have you seen the video, though?
I have not seen the video.
Wow.
Is it bad? Is it paparazzi?
Dude, it's so pathetic. So if you don't know, Angel Reese and company were complaining because someone that was waiting when they got off the bus by their team hotel with their their phone, asking a question to the girl that just pushed Caitlin Clark. I don't know her name. So, they tweeted about it. It was the most abhorrent thing that ever happened. Like, she almost got stabbed by this guy, basically. Somebody had to intervene. We had to get security involved. Typical, it's 2024. Everyone has to be a victim. Everyone loves to be a victim. So the video came out today. I highly recommend everyone go find that. It's the most pedestrian thing of all time. A guy standing 15 feet away from her asking a really basic question about the Caitlin Clark thing. It was so not what they made it seem to be.
Yeah, they hate Caitlin Clark.
Oh, they do hate Caitlin Clark.
And she's bringing so much attention. I mean, you would think it would end up benefiting them all.
Well, they all have charter flights now. Before Caitlin Clark, they all had to fly like us plebs. But now, I mean, they're classy. So they should at least thank her for that.
Here's a firefighter, based on what I said a few minutes ago, 9266, says, never fear, Ballou, a 16-year-old playing high school football can make more in a year now with NIL than I do as a firefighter. At what point is common sense going to take over?
Well, is he a good football player? How far can you throw a football, sir?
Yeah.
Sorry, but the truth hurts.
It's awful. They are underpaid.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that guy who's playing football is overpaid. There's only a select few people on this earth that can do what that guy does, playing football. There's tons of people that can be a firefighter. More people than that can be a football quarterback. Sorry. That's just how it is.
Yeah, but not in high school.
Yeah, we don't know what that guy's going to be, though. I'm assuming most of these high school guys that are going to get NIL deals are getting them from, like, the boosters of a college. So I'm assuming, like, the Florida collective is going to be paying – what's the kid's name that they just got, the high school quarterback? Like, I'm assuming they're going to be paying him in high school until he comes to the University of Florida.
All right, here's my problem. I don't know the rules. I don't know the laws.
Nobody does.
And I've tried to investigate, but it's so muddy. I think it's different in every state. And
well, only 36 states even do it.
Right. I mean, and I don't even want to get into what states can do and what states can't do, but if certain states can go after these kids when they're sophomores and juniors and other states cannot,
they're going to move.
That's a massive advantage. Yeah, and that's why you see kids go from school to school, and in this case, maybe go state to state.
Well, who was the kid? Was it Jalen Rashada who moved from, like, California to Georgia to play, like, his senior year of football?
Yeah.
That's
crazy. I really do, and it's not for the lack of effort, but I really wish I could educate myself more on the NIL. And the new high school NIL just barely came to fruition this week, and I still believe it's kind of like the new stadium with the city council still has to vote on it. My understanding of the new NIL in high school, it's gone over a few hurdles, but they're not in the clear yet. Don't they have to pass like one more step? Again,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I need to really sit down and spend some time on this. But yeah, it's only getting bigger and more for all of these folks. All right, let's get caught up. We were a little bit long-winded a few minutes ago, so let's bounce out here, come back, and take you through the remainder of the program. Right here on this Thursday night. Again, I'm promoting it a lot because I'm looking at our text line, and we have quite a few hockey fans that are fired up about this series, which does begin on Saturday at, I believe it's an 8:30 game coming up on Saturday. We'll talk with former 1010XL and 92.5 FM, friend of ours, Jessica Blaylock, who does a wonderful job covering both the Miami Marlins and the Florida Panthers. Blaylock on with us tomorrow night at 6:30.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays. The sound of paydays. The sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
The hottest trend in casual dining has expanded in Jacksonville with its 5th location off 103rd. The Flame Broiler serves up protein-packed rice bowls. It's fast, healthy, and affordable. Order online at flamebroilerusa.com or visit any of our 5 locations. Flame Broiler, simply healthy.
Hawthorne Heights presents 20 Years of Tears live at the St. Augustine Amphitheater, Thursday, August 8th, with special guests Thursday, Amberlin, Armor for Sleep, Emery, and This Wild Life. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Score free gifts for the greatest dad this Father's Day at Lowe's. Get a free Select Cobalt tool with your purchase of a 24-volt max battery 2-pack. And get a free Select Craftsman string trimmer or leaf blower with purchase of a Select V20 push mower up to a $149 value. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/12. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
If you wear contact lenses and you're between the ages of 18 and 69, the Vision Research Center is looking for participants in clinical research studies. If eligible, you'll be compensated up to $50 per hour. I've done these contact lens studies for years. The VRC staff is wonderful and they work with my busy schedule. See if you qualify. Visit their website, 188visionok.com. 188visionok.com.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Hey, I'm not going to pretend I know the specific problems you might be facing when it comes to the prospect of selling your home. Maybe you need more space for your office or a growing family. Perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a low-ball, out-of-state, instant offer. It's a tougher market. It means it's crucial to hire the right agents to sell your home and maximize your price, and that's why I'm recommending Chad and Sandy Newman, chadandsandy.com. They have the plan and experience to get your home sold fast and get it sold for maximum cash. In fact, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Can you have any more comfort and security than that? Take Tanya in Palencia. I needed to sell my condo fast. I bought a new construction home thinking I had plenty of time to sell. But I listed with another realtor and I got no showings and no offers. I ended up paying 2 mortgages. I then hired Chad and Sandy. I got offers in days and closed in under 30. Go to chadandsandy.com and take advantage of chadandsandy.com.
Smooth sailing and a smooth taste of Vida de Luis, an all-natural tequila made with volcanic spring water and aerated to provide a smoother finish. Go to VidaDeLuis.com and set a course for smooth living today.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Vegas, baby, Vegas! All right, all these championships that'll be crowned the month of June. Game 1 tonight, NBA Finals, Boston. Pretty sizable favorite over the Dallas Mavericks. Rafael Esparza, MyBookie, mybookie.org. How's the money been on Game 1?
It's been pretty much all over the place today. I mean, we actually saw this number come down to 6 early this afternoon, then got back up to 6.5, and a 7 just popped up as I was on hold. So I would say it's been a little wash. A lot of over money. The books need the under. This total opened up at 213. Now it's 217.5. So I can guarantee the books are hoping for a defensive game.
JJ and I on other sides on this. I like the over tonight. He likes the under. We'll see what happens. The World Series will begin in college baseball tomorrow. Tennessee and Texas A&M, they seem to be the big favorites here.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the Super Regionals, Tennessee's minus 1,000 against the Purple Aces, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be between an SEC and ACC school. Let's just do it that way. I think North Carolina and Georgia, I could be the teams that maybe look out. North Carolina had a battle-tested LSU. That was a great series. If you didn't watch that, the last game of LSU to North Carolina, a fantastic game. And Georgia at home, they get to play NC State. I think in the Super Regionals, they should take care of business on that one. So those are 2 teams that would not shock me if they win it all.
I incorrectly said that right. Super Regionals begin 4 games tomorrow, 8 on Saturday. Then 8 teams will advance to the College World Series. All right, money supporting Oklahoma to wrap it up tonight with the women's softball World Series, or for Texas, they even it at 1 apiece.
Texas money came in early. I think Oklahoma money came in a little bit, but I think the bettors want to see another game, so I think that's why we're seeing great action. If you're not watching college softball, I don't know what you're doing. I guess you're just pulling your dates off calendars to waiting for football, but there's been great sports on TV, and I'm talking about college softball. There's been some fantastic games.
All right, what about next week? I mean, I understand that this is a big tournament in Dublin, Ohio. It's Jack's tournament at Muirfield. But are you starting to get any feelers for the United States Open, or will that happen after, they complete 4 rounds on Sunday?
Probably, it's a little mixed. I mean, Scottie Scheffler has been the hottest golfer in the world right now. See how he goes. I mean, right now he's the betting favorite in any tournament he plays right now. I got curious to see what Rory does. But right now, I can guarantee you the books don't need Scottie Scheffler to win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Hey, as we wrap things up, it's been busy the last couple of weeks, both in boxing, obviously overseas, as well as in the cage. Did anything really help you guys or hurt you guys the last couple of Saturdays?
We did good in boxing because Deontay Wilder lost last week and hung it up, retired. But then we got crushed last week at UFC 302 as every pretty much favorite came in. So that was a bad beat. Hopefully, I like some dogs this weekend in UFC at Louisville. Louisville, a place to be. SmackDown tonight, wrestling, and then UFC tomorrow. But everyone wants to know what's going to happen with McGregor and Chandler. So I think that's going to overstate anything that happens in UFC until that fight actually, if it does happen.
How are there no leaks in wrestling?
It's funny. I do a show with Jonathan Coachman, who used to work for WWE for 13 years, and I mean the stories he tells me. It's hard to get leaked out right now because they don't tell the wrestlers who. And this is pay-per-views, not the TV events. The pay-per-views, they don't tell the wrestlers who wins until they're actually walking down into the ring into their match. Or the referee tells them during the match. And stuff like that. So Vince McMahon hated spoilers. He hated when the public knew and all that. So that was like his biggest pet peeve. And I heard it's TKO's UFC's biggest pet peeve too. So they do that now. You can actually see them talking each other in the ring, especially the ref. Hey, time to wrap it up. You're going to win. If you really look at closely, you could tell some wrestlers are shocked. I mean, we saw, I think, up in Saudi Arabia, one of the matches where you could tell the wrestler just found out, okay, we're ending, you're winning. You could tell by face expression. So
that's nuts. I mean, I know that, I remember when Andre got slammed. Apparently he told Hulk right at that moment, give me the slam. And, when I was really into wrestling, there was always one guy, Hulk had it for years, who had creative control. But is that gone now, where there's a wrestler in all of these associations, the one guy that can say win, lose, or a disqualification? Are those days gone?
Those days are pretty much gone, and I think everyone has to thank The Undertaker, because The Undertaker wanted to lose against Brock Lesnar. He was fighting backstage with Vince McMahon, saying Vince McMahon wanted him to be undefeated for every WrestleMania, and The Undertaker says, no, I want to lose. So now pretty much everyone looks at that moment right now and say, hey, you know what? The Undertaker, one of the GOATs in wrestling, wanted to lose on the biggest stage. If he wants to lose, what makes me any better than the GOAT of The Undertaker? So that's pretty much out the window. Now, you have maybe before saying how you're going to lose it and maybe where you're going to lose it, but it's pretty much up to pretty much just the writers right now. And it's funny, I've talked to Diamond Dallas Page, did an interview with him, which will be out tomorrow. And now that I'm working with so much WWE people, they're telling me some of the stuff that happens backstage that it's hard to tell people now that it's really not 100% fake. There's really stuff that actually happens behind closed doors.
So when does Scott Foster tell Jason Tatum they're going to win?
Probably, I would think probably game 3. Okay. I think this goes 6 games. I think Boston does win. I think they win in 6 games. And Drew Holiday, I'm going to say it on your show, Drew Holiday wins MVP just like Iggy won it when he defended LeBron, and that's how they won their championship. Holiday wins it because he shuts down Kyrie Irving.
We need more Montreal screw jobs in wrestling. That's one thing I've heard many years I've been doing odds. You never talk about that to anybody that's in wrestling. That's didn't Bret Hart? When Hogan got the early tap? Was it against? was it against Sting or the Ultimate Warrior? Where
Oh, it's Ultimate Warrior.
he was supposed to kick out and he didn't.
Yep.
And then totally non-script, Hart walks out, takes over as referee, and so there have been episodes like that. Yeah. Hey, we're out of time. How do the folks get your interview? Will you post it on Twitter? Give me your
I'll
address.
post it all that. Yeah, I'll post all that tomorrow on X.
Give it to us. Your address.
At BSI Doc Sports. You could also catch me on Instagram at Rafael Esparza, and you catch me 4 days a week on Driving the Line with Jonathan Coachman, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. Probably going to add the Friday show when it gets closer to football season if I can move my schedules around.
Check out everything at MyBookie and MyBookie.org. Thank you, Rafael.
Take it easy.
Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, we learned a lot today, including wrestling nowadays is not determined until you actually get in the ring. How about that? Because it is pretty magnificent. That is the one sport where you would think that it would leak because the wagering has really grown in everything, and that includes wrestling. So I wasn't aware of that. Were you aware of it?
Oh, no, I had no idea. I was shocked by that. I love it, though.
It's good stuff. Tonight it's all about really two huge matchups. Getting ready to get underway between Oklahoma and Texas for the ladies, trying to win the college softball World Series. Oklahoma up 1-0 in the best of three there. And again, we're about 40 minutes away. Game 1 in Boston, the NBA Finals, the Celtics and the Mavericks. Thank you to Kendra Middleton for joining us live from Boston. She works at 98.5 The Sports Hub there. And Rafael Esparza. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. Again, hockey fans at 6:30 on Friday night. Jessica Blaylock will join us here on the program. Packers next. My name is Rick Ballou. Talk to you then.
Four balls.